Hello students, you are welcome back to class. We will be considering variation. So we'll be starting with direct variation. When you talk of variation, that means you are having some variables that affect the other. When one variable is increasing, the other one will be increasing, and when one variable is decreasing, the other one will be decreasing. That is talking about direct variation. Now look at this. Question 1. If C is directly proportional to n and C is equal to 5 when n is 20, find the formula connecting C and n. Usually, if you have any question on direct variation, you must first of all look for the formula that connects the variables. So now here you are told that C is directly proportional to n. So this is showing that C is directly proportional to n. Now whenever you are removing this sign of proportionality, you must introduce an equality sign. That means you should introduce a constant. So anytime you are removing this sign of proportionality, that means you need to introduce an equality sign. So if you introduce an equality sign, there should be a constant. So this C is directly proportional to n. So to remove this proportionality sign, you introduce equality sign and a constant. So that means C will be equal to what? K. You can use K to represent the constant, then times n. Now you are given the value for C and you are given the value for n. So we are told that the value for C is 5 when n is 20. Then to look for the formula connecting them, we need to look for the value for K here. So you are going to substitute 5 for C. So you substitute 5 for C, then is equal to K is what you are looking for, times the value for n is what? 20. So that means you have 5 is equal to K times 20 will give us 20K. So you are looking for K. The next thing is to divide both sides by the coefficient of K, which is 20. Divide both sides by 20. So that 20 divided by 20 here will give us what? Remaining to be K. 5 here is what? 1. 5 in the denominator here is what? 4. So our K is equal to 1 over 4. So our K is equal to 1 over 4. So from there, you are going to substitute back into this formula. C equals Kn. So the formula you are talking about is now what? C equals, our K is 1 over 4 times n. So that means you are having C equals n. 1 times n is n over 4. So that means the formula connecting C and n is C equals n over 4. Now let's consider another example. If you are having this, we are having if m is directly proportional to n and m equals 6 when L is 2, find A, the relationship between m and L, B, the value of L when m equals 15. Anytime you are given any problem on variation, you should understand that you must always look for the formula or the relationship that is connecting the variables. So it may be stated in the question and it may not be stated. Just know that you will always do that. Now let's try to solve. We are told to look for the relationship between m and n. We were told that m is directly proportional to n. So if that, to remove this sign, we need to introduce equality sign and K. So the K is standing for the constants. So that means we have m equals Kn. Now, in the question, we are told that m equals 6 when L is equal to 2. So what we have to do is to substitute m to be 6 and L to be 2. So that is here, we have 6 for m is equal to K times L is what? 2. So that means 6 should now be equal to K times 2 is what? 2K. So to get k, you divide both sides by the coefficient of k, which is what? 2. Divide both sides by 2. So that means our k will be equal to 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. So our k is equal to 3. The next thing to do is now substitute this 3 into this formula, m equals kn. So that means we'll be having m equals, in place of k we put what? 3, then l. It means that this is the formula that relates m and n. So for this particular question, anytime you are solving in this m equals 3l stand as the formula for this particular variation. Then the second part of the question says we should find the value of n when m is equal to 15. So you take m equals 3l to be the formula. So that means you want to look for the value of n when m is equal to 15. So you now substitute 15 for m, should be equal to 3 times n. So we have 15 is equal to 3n. So that means from here you divide both sides by the coefficient of l to get l. So when you divide this by 3, you have l remaining here. 15 divided by 3 will give you 5. So that means l is equal to what? 5. Let's consider another example. Number 3. W is directly proportional to u. If W is equal to 5, when U is equal to 3, find U when W is equal to 2/7. Now, I've told you that anytime you are having a problem on variation, you must always look for the formula that connects the variables. So you are told that M is directly proportional to U. So instead of giving us this proportionality sign like is in this question 1, it's now written in words that W is directly proportional to U. So that means to write this mathematically, you have what? W is directly proportional to U. So W is directly proportional to U is written mathematically like this. Now from here, you need to introduce your equality sign and your constant. So W should be equal to KU. Now in the question, you are told that if W equals 5, when U is equal to 3, find U when W is equal to 2/7. So I've told you that anytime you are given any problem of variation, you must always look for the formula that connects them. You may be told to look for it or not. Know that it's always compulsory to do that. So that means we are going to substitute the value for W to be 5 and U to be what? To be 3. So when W is 5, U is 3. So that means you have 5 equals K times 3. So 5 equals K times 3 will give us 3K. So to get K, you divide both sides by the coefficient of K, which is what? 3. So divide both sides by 3. So that means our K should be what? 5/3. So you now substitute this into this formula you are having. W is equal to KU. So when you substitute, you have what? W is equal to, in place of K, you are going to put 5/3, then times U. So that means you'll be having 5 times U is 5U/3. So this stands as the formula for this particular variation. Now, the very part we are told to look for, find U when W is equal to 2/7. So that means you are going to substitute 2/7 for W is equal to 5U/3. So you are taking this W is equal to 5U/3 as the formula. So you are told that W is 2/7 equal to 5U/3. From here, you are going to cross multiply. So 3 times 2, 7 times 5U. So that means 2 times 3 will give us 6. 5U times 7 will give us 35U. So to get U, you need to divide both sides by the coefficient of U, which is 35. So divide both sides by 35. So 35 cancel 35 here, remaining what? U. U will give us what? 6 over 35. So that means when W is equal to 2 over 7, U is equal to 6 over 35. So for the work practice, number 1, if C is directly proportional to N and C is equal to 28 when N is equal to 4, find the formula connecting C and N. 2. If A is directly proportional to B and A equals 24 when B is equal to 3, find the relationship between A and B. 3. If D is directly proportional to S and D equals 140 when S is equal to 35, find A, the relationship between D and S, B, the value of S when D equals 176. 4. If X is directly proportional to Y and X is equal to 30 when Y is equal to 12, find A, the formula connecting X and Y, B, X when Y equals 10, C, Y when X is equal to 14. Number 5. If X is X minus 3 is directly proportional to the square of Y and X equals 5 when Y equals 2, find X when Y equals 6. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.